Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Esports Podcast. This is the LCK edition. I'm your host, William, and with me today I have Brock.
Hello.
And this was my streak ended finally. I had a 16 pick streak in a row. If you go back from week 3 on series number 8 and week 5 all the way up to series number 4. And not only that, Brock, you beat me this week. So
Yeah.
So you went 7-3 and I went 6-4. So it was still a pretty good week overall. But let's get right into it. Okay, the first game we had was Griffin versus Gen G. I don't even know if we really need to even get into that one. it went
Jesus.
it went exactly how you would expect it if you watched any LCK this year. Griffin blew him out both games. It wasn't close.
Yeah. Talk about a terrible game for Ruler.
hmm
The game one, oh my god. There was a point where Viper had like 108 CS and Ruler had like 62.
Which is sad because Ruler's been 1v5ing almost all year, I feel like, on Gen G.
Yeah.
And I thought he's been having a pretty solid year, but my god, that was not his game. Not
I
his
like how last season it was like, all right, we're doing the mage bot lane now, and now it's like we're doing anything bot lane.
Uh-huh.
Like throw Yasuo down there, Cassiopeia down there, throw everything down there.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because they just got quick
Chris
changes.
got buffed, I know. It's so weird. It's happening in every region.
Yeah. Interesting.
Next game we had SKT versus KT, another blowout. Which, if you have not watched any LCK this year and only watched last year, you'd be like, man, that was a little bit of an upset. KT's good. KT's not good. KT's bad. KT is very bad.
Yeah.
KT is now up down to 2-8, I believe. Yes, they're up down to 2-8, and they're in relegation at the moment. So this game wasn't again another quick game that wasn't very close. And before we move
Except
on,
for game one.
oh,
Game one was over 50 minutes.
oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry. Quick reminder that I was at Frostbite for Smash Bros this weekend, so I don't have notes really on a lot of these games. I was quite busy, so I still listened to them while I was there, but it was
Yeah, listen only goes so far. Especially when you're over 50 minutes in a game.
Did I kick my headphones out? There we go. Talk one more time.
Hello?
Yep. Okay, you sound good now. I
I
accidentally.
said,
No,
said,
I
yeah,
I
listen.
heard it, but it
Oh,
it was
okay.
like echoey, and I'm like, that's weird. But the plug on my headset was a little bit pulled, because I
Yeah.
kicked it like a good person. But yeah.
But, yeah, game one was a fun game to watch up until like 35 minutes, and then you're like, how long is this possibly going to go?
Yeah. Game 2 is the blowout one, though, right?
Let me double check. I believe it was. Uh, yeah, 30 minutes. SKT got every dragon, 17-10.
Yep. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, that's the one.
Then next we had Kingzone versus Jin Air. Man, these were very easy to pick, but they were not fun to watch. Jin Air looks
No,
terrible. They look
it's
so
bad.
bad. They're 1-20 on the year, by the way. I think, not even gonna lie, there is 5 LMS teams that would 2-0 Jin Air, in my opinion. 5.
Yeah. There's a couple very, very bad NA teams who could possibly 2-0 Jin Air.
Yeah, it's shocking. I think it'd be a good fight between 100 Thieves and Jin Air. That would be one of the best fights you can get.
Yeah, possibly. You know, the bad thing about this is our group of friends who we all played League together could possibly beat Jin Air.
I might not go that far.
Hey, I tell you what, a 3-game series, oh, we're taking a game off.
We're
Not in
gonna
a series,
okay.
but we're taking
The
a
only
game.
thing I'll give will be more competitive than we should.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's sad. Like I don't know what you do other than get relegated. I don't know.
it's embarrassing. They just roll over and die every single game. And then they finally didn't in one game, I believe it was against Gen G, but they did so much aggression that it was like the bad aggression where you're just enting, kind of like Russian and like that kind of
Yep.
aggression. And like that's not like no, like just because you roll over, there's a middle ground there. It's
Yeah.
not roll over, do nothing and die, or ent and run down mid. Like there's a fine line in between that.
Yeah. I don't know which. Oh yeah. I don't know.
They have
It's
they need to work on finding that a little bit at least.
the
I
only
don't
thing.
know the
Only
one down game.
way I see Gen Air picks up a game is if somehow they play against their backups, and LCK just accepts that game as a game. Because I do not see Gen Air winning a game.
Why aren't they playing
Or
Stitch? By the way, I liked
I don't
Stitch.
know. I don't
Thought he was.
know.
I thought he had a decent showing at Worlds, and I thought that oh well, like why not? Root hasn't done anything. Like not to be harsh to Root, I don't think he's in a team that can do anything in the first place.
Yeah.
But it is Root on Generis, right? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
I just
Woo! Look at me. I'm starting to get these memorization down. There's like 400 some players.
I tried to look it up and I dragged a tab down and it started a whole new thing. So I
Rip.
messed everything up.
Rip.
We're back now.
Yeah, we're back. Woo. But yeah, I think Stitch should start playing some games, and I think Nova is no different than Kellen. Maybe it's a different thing, but they've played Nova. They've played like all of their backups except for Stitch, and I think Stitch is like their best backup. It's so weird to me. I don't know. Like, what do you got? You're 1-20. What do you have to lose? Give him
Yeah,
some.
honestly,
Give him
put
some
everybody
experience.
else in.
Yeah, give him some experience. Give your whole team experience at this point. It's over. It's over.
I
You're
mean,
going challenger. Sorry.
yeah. To be fair, your entire roster is looking for new teams next season, so you might as well put everybody in.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's. I don't get it. Next game was the game that destroyed my 16 game win streak and was a freak of freaks upsetting Sandbox. Now, I will say I did not expect this one. If you would have told me about the other upset against Sandbox this week, I could see it. Maybe not in, excuse me, in 2-0 fashion, but uh, the Sandbox has always worried me slightly. I have put them, like I've said, probably in my top 5 or near my top 5. But they've, even though they did take a game off Griffin, I think that is why they were artificially elevated so highly up in the rankings because they beat Griffin. No one else has even come close to beating Griffin in one game.
Yeah.
But I think it was also a very terrible draft by Griffin, like completely troll picks. They gave Sandbox every meta pick in the book, and I don't know. It's just some of their plays I've kind of glossed over personally. I've noticed that when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that's not very smart. Like a lot of their Baron, like their plays around Baron, are either super risky or just not frankly smart at all to take. And they take a lot of them, and it burned them in this game or this series. And Keen's a
Yeah.
monster.
Keen is a monster.
Yeah, that guy
You're
puts
right. He
the
made
team on the back.
he had some not int plays like he wasn't where he was like feeding on Silas, but man, he missed a whole lot of his. Oh Lord, I don't even know if the name of the ability is good. The second part of the E, not
Yeah,
the dash, but the grab thing. I don't know what it's called.
I have no idea. I haven't played Silas yet. I
Yeah, but I
want
think
to,
a
but
lot of that is just a lot of people are new to the champion, so it's and his.
can we use that excuse anymore? It's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah, but it's still like you think timing on certain like that ability is it's actually shoots out pretty damn slow.
That
So
is true.
maybe it's like a timing issue. I mean, then again, it's not an issue. He didn't play bad. He played well. Played really well. Uh, so yeah, that was kind of like the only thing. Pretty big upset though.
Yeah, quite a big upset.
Didn't expect it.
Nope, not at all. Next game, I didn't expect either because I thought Damwon was looking okay. They had come back in week 4, but I didn't really believe it because it was against teams like I believe Jenner they faced, or no, they faced Jenner this week, right? I forgot
Janae.
who Damwon faced last week. Let me look. They versed a Freak
Oh,
of Freaks
Lasser.
in Janair. Okay, yeah, they did face Janair. Yeah, so it was against the Freak of Freaks in Janair. So I was happy for Damwon, but I was still very worried because the Freak of Freaks at the time I would have them as the second worst team, and Janair is the worst team of all Major League teams pretty much at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think they might be able to beat some of the bottom LMS teams, but barely. That would be a series. And that is very sad to say. But anyway, I think I was a little worried about Damwon still, and I felt pretty confident with Hanwha Life. But I was wrong. Damwon looked amazing in this game. It looks like the Lunar Break really refreshed their mental because they were playing pretty bad after their losses. They lost to SKT and Griffin, which I think just destroyed them mentally because after that they ended up losing the King Zone 2-0, which I don't think. And they looked bad in all these games, by the way. It's not like, oh, you just lost a three top team. They looked really bad in these games. And they lost to
Mm,
Sandbox as well. So they've lost 4 games in a
yeah.
row coming into the Lunar Break. So I think that was actually a huge boost to their mental game to just like get a mental reset, focus on what they're doing. And they got Flame on the team, which he didn't play in this series, but they looked really good, and it was really nice to see that. Because I thought personally at the beginning of this year that Damwon would be the team out of Damwon, Sandbox, and Hanwha Life to stick around. So seeing them be the first team to like drop was kind of surprising.
Mm. For me, this game was crazy because, as we know, Dam One had a pretty significant pickup
Hmm.
uh, in their roster,
Yeah,
which
Flame.
Flame didn't play the first series, but
To be
I
fair,
think that pickup really impacted how Nogri played
yeah.
because Nogri popped off
Yeah,
in the
he,
first
he he
series.
didn't ent as much either, so I wonder if it's that veteran experience telling him not to push up as much like he usually does. I wonder if they were able to rein him in a little bit.
Yeah, I think picking up Flame was a pretty big wake up call where it's like, look, dude, this guy's good. So you're not. He's there's a chance he can come in and do some stuff, and he did,
He did. He
which
did.
we'll get there when we do. But they came in and did some stuff. So Nagri, keep playing your ass off, bud, because you definitely got some competition now.
Yeah. And speaking of playing their ass off, Griffin played the next game against KT, and this was the first game I actually showed my cousin of Griffin. I was talking about Griffin with him this weekend, and since we were like in the hotel and stuff, and I was just showing him what they do. I let him watch this series. I'm like, this is just Griffin, by the way. You think NA is fun to watch? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good God.
Team Liquid is the NA version of Griffin, but emphasis on NA in that sense of
Yeah,
like they're good, but they're nowhere near Griffin good. Not even remotely close.
no, and that's tough to deal with. Like that's saying something.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think, which this is this is a legit thing. I'm not saying this because I don't like Liquid,
Hmm.
which I don't like Liquid, but I think if Liquid plays Griffin in like 10 games, I think Liquid might win a game.
Yeah. I not just Liquid. I would put that with G2. I would
Yeah,
put
yeah,
that
G2 as
with
well.
SKT.
G2 as well.
I would put that
Yep.
with. Mm,
SKT might not even win a game.
IG's a little hot right now. I was
Yeah.
down on them, but they're coming back. I think they just didn't practice at all with Lunar New Year. I saw some interviews that they had very little practice. They had a lot of vacation because they're world champions, I guess, and their game was against LGD to start, so they really didn't care, which it
Uh-huh.
ended up costing them. But I think that I think IG or maybe Fun Plus Phoenix, but Fun Plus Phoenix hasn't been super tested at the moment. I have to get back to me in 2 weeks for Fun Plus Phoenix on that, but for sure IG, that would be the only team to maybe take 3 out of 10
Yeah.
games against Griffin. I don't see a single team going more than that, but that's about
Nope.
it. I am going to be so depressed as a fan if Griffin does not win LCK this year. I want to see them at MSI. As a Liquid fan, I do not want to see him at MSI because that means I already know we're going in with slim chances. Personally, I feel like, but like with Griffin's there's like why even show up? I think Griffin is amazing this year. Like we said. We think the defending world champions, could maybe take 3 out of 10 games against them, maybe.
Maybe.
And
Yeah. That's,
pretty much no other team in the world can do any better.
nope. I don't think so.
That's high
And the
praise.
crazy thing is like, I guarantee we say this, they're gonna lose.
Oh
But for right now, I'm confident saying it and not even expecting them to lose.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where they're just their team fighting. Like especially my cousin was watching for the first time. It's like, oh, they got caught out. Wait, why aren't they dead? Oh wait, how did they just ace them without anyone dying? Like they were the ones that got jumped on. How did that work? And like,
Yeah.
oh, that's Griffin things. I think it was whoever was playing Vlad. I don't remember. Vlad's the worst champion to bring up from a past game. Who was playing him? It was either top laner, mid laner, or the ADC. Okay, cool. But it was like in the bottom brush with the near dragon, and he like pooled, and then Zonya'd, and then his whole team came there, and then he flashed out with like 1 HP, healed up because he's Vlad, and then they aced him without a single death. And I'm like, just Griffin things.
For me, watching Griffin is like, what's the easy way to explain it? It's like when Griffin plays, they have the Earth buff and the other team doesn't. Because it's like they don't stop. They never stop doing things.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, how do you have these resources? Where are they coming from?
I always wondered that about almost all professionals. To be fair, where it's like, how I feel like I run out of mana on certain champs like all the time. Especially Urgot right now, man. Oh man, he got gutted so bad. But
Like watching Double Lift and like Viper, whatever he plays, not Vlad, but like Kai'Sa and all that.
yeah,
It's like, dude, you have Rage Blade and the recurve bow.
oh.
How do you have this attack speed?
Yeah.
Where's this attack speed coming from?
Yeah, it's like that, and it's like, where's this damage coming from as well?
Yeah.
It's like,
just
especially
don't get it.
with like Kai'Sa, they all in. I'm like, how did you not get? It's because they know they're professional players. We're not, where they know all the hard CC is down at the exact moment. They know how much time they have, so they'll ult in
Yep.
with Kai'Sa. If I ever ult in on Kai'Sa, I'm instantly thresh hooked or something like that. It's just instant kill. I'm like, oh cool, should have done that. Yeah, but yeah, it's just mental that they process things way better than we do as simple plat slash gold slash silver peasants.
Yep. Very peasants.
Next game of next series of the week was Kingzone versus Sandbox. Big upset. Deft hard carried this series, I thought. Deft, to be fair, Deft has been hard carrying Kingzone this entire season. He's really showing people why he was considered the best ADC in the world and that he should still be in that conversation. He has been amazing on a team that I think without Deft could be in relegation, honestly, at this point. But he's really good. He's really good.
Def, if I'm not mistaken, is the Draven player, right? Like he's got like a crazy Draven, or am I thinking of somebody else?
I think you're thinking of Ghost on Sandbox, but I'm not positive.
Maybe.
Deft has a lot of good. I don't know off the top of my head, and that might be a hard stat to pull up. I could check.
Yeah, I could have sworn I just remembered. I don't remember. I'm not going to pander on it, but I could remember that Def was on Draven one game, and he was just popping off like early in the season, like week 1, week 2, maybe.
It could have been this season,
But yeah, that dude is nutty. And Pawn had a crazy rise game in game 1.
yeah. Oh yeah. The Rise game for sure was one of the. It's rare. I don't think he's a very strong pick, but he actually showed that he can still be a strong pick. And Def, by the way, is not Draven. His favorite is Ezreal, and he mostly plays Ezreal and Lucian.
Ezreal? Okay.
Yeah, it's an Ezreal.
I think I like the Rise pick if you have a comp where you're going to be like either 1-3-1ing or 4-1.
I don't know. I actually don't like it as much in split pushing at the moment as much as I like it in like almost like flanks for team fighting because in my opinion I think there's too many strong split pushers like Fiora right now and Yorick that can abuse the Rise. They can get in on him and I know he can peel but I just think there's a lot stronger options I guess to say Even
I think
Jack.
the Raz pick for me is probably best as a counter pick to Lissandra because Raz is a pretty good pick into Lissandra.
Yeah, because you can push the wave on her.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't. I mean, he made it work, so obviously there's something there. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting pick that you really don't see often.
Yeah, it's definitely it used to be super meta, but obviously it's
Oh
not
God, yeah,
anymore. I don't next or necessarily like it as much. It's better than Victor for me, but it's one of those picks where I'm like, you're kind of playing not to lose type deal. You're not playing to make super aggressive plays, in my opinion.
yeah. Raz is a
And
very pick.
yeah. um. So next, I thought that was also really weird that Sandbox losing. It was on the back of Def that they lost against, but like Sandbox first two 0-2 week, and they had only lost one game before then. But like I said before, I've noticed cracks where they make. I think it's due to inexperience, but they make some very questionable calls, especially around Barons that I don't see with Griffin. Even though they beat Griffin once, I have Griffin at a whole nother level than Sandbox because you don't
Oh
see
yeah,
those type of calls.
yep.
Next game this week we had. Oh, is this the Jin versus Gen G?
GNG.
I didn't
Yep.
fall asleep during this one, guys. I didn't do it like last time these two teams faced, and that's because luckily Gen G won two quick games. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jin
they
for
did.
sucking even more than they did last time these two teams played, because this was a quick series. I went into it thinking, oh no, I'm gonna pass out again watching this, but I didn't. I was happy. There was two quick
Um,
games. I didn't have to watch much.
and imagine the only thing it takes for Peanut to actually look like a decent jungler again is Jen Air.
Oh, have you seen that Malrong has like failed like 5 Rift Heralds this year? Like he's literally canceled them himself or like accidentally placed them or let them expire like 5 times. Then
Huh.
it's not. And let's be honest, Janair's not getting many Rift Heralds in the first place. I think they
No.
have one Baron on the entire year over 20, 21 games that they've played, and they've won Baron. So that's not good. And it wasn't in the game they won, surprisingly.
Yeah, that's not good stats.
Nope, not good stats at all. But there's not going to be many good stats when you're Janair.
Yeah, when your team is just inting.
Yeah. Next game was their next series. I always say game. It's an NA thing, and
Yeah.
I'm so used to it. Next series is was SKT versus Damwon, and Damwon with the upset beat SKT 2-1, cemented themselves as being here to stay this after the Lunar New Year, and being that they are now one of the top teams in the league. Uh, I'm sure you had a lot to
E.
say about this.
This game was like game number one was a kind of contested game up until a point, and then SKT kind of did SKT things and ended up taking Barons. They took the Dragons. They took everything, and then they just won the game.
hmm
And then next thing you know, Nugger's not in top lane. Flame's in top lane now,
hmm
and Damwon reverse sweeps SKT. And game number two was actually contested. Like game number two was a fun game to watch. Like it was pretty back and forth. And then I think this was okay, this wasn't the game I was thinking of. Yeah, game number two was pretty back and forth, but Damwon was just getting ahead of everything. And their crazy ass 300 IQ Riven Jungle question mark, I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like I didn't even notice it. We both forgot Riven was a jungler because of how awesome Flame was doing on the Urgot, which is weird to say, I know, but
Yeah, I was not expecting it. Flame was put in Urgot duty, and holy moly, he showed up. And he showed up huge in game three, and actually was the reason Damwon won that game.
oh yeah, that's the game I'm thinking of.
Because of a ridiculous play that you're going to see a little
Yeah,
later.
yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Did he play Urgot in game two? Did he play
He
Urgot in
sure
both?
did.
Okay, yeah, so I'm still right. Yes.
Yep, played Urgot in both games.
Okay, so series number 10 was Hollow Life versus Freak of Freaks, and this was a closer series than I imagined it was going to be. Freak of Freaks did not look bad this week. This was the game. Was this the series where Freak of Freaks put everyone else in the lineup though? Like they had their backups in for every single position.
Let me see. Freaking
Yeah,
Freaks.
I think they had like Dread in, they had Sun in, and they had
Yeah, Sun was
Soul.
in. Soul.
Yeah, and they had
Yep.
Proud or something, I believe. It was like it was really weird, and they won a game off of it. I think it was more so a surprise to Hanwha because you know those players and what they're gonna do and stuff like that. But I think after that, Hanwha was able to adapt and well enough, and then obviously win the series 2-1.
Yeah. That's a very interesting series, too. Because Afrika showed stuff in game one by showing a whole new team,
Yeah,
and Hanwha shows that they can, come back from that. And didn't have any problem in game two.
and it was Home of Life, I like to see, like you just said, the way they were able to come back and win back-to-back games. I think that they are also on the cusp of being a middle, like gatekeeper type team, where I think they are definitely going to make the playoffs this year, but they haven't shown that they're able to beat top-tier teams. I know Afrika isn't a top-tier team, but losing to one of those teams puts them at risk of missing the playoffs because I don't think they're going to get many wins on the teams above them.
Yeah. I will say one thing I did like about the game three. Well, a thing I liked and a thing I didn't like. I liked the Blitzcrank pickup
Hmm.
because it's funny watching people play
I
Blitzcrank. It's
love Blitzcrank.
also a ballsy pick because of the enemy team having Callista, and I don't necessarily like Blitzcrank against Callista.
It's not the best.
Yeah, it's not the best. But another pick I didn't like that much was the Kazakhs pick from Afrika. I don't know that assassins are should be in the jungle right now. I don't mind Kazakhs because I think Kazakhs is good, but I don't necessarily like the pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. I think I like Kha'Zix, but he's really snowbally. If he doesn't get ahead, he really doesn't do much. He's a burst champ, but I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot better burst. Like I feel like Lee Sin makes more plays with it than Kha'Zix does. I know Lee Sin doesn't burst as well as Kha'Zix does, but I think the utility comes better in team fights. I think, excuse me, professional teams are just so well, like they know all the flanking, and if they don't see Kha'Zix, they know he's flanking and stuff, so they are prepared to stop him more so than solo queue, and that
Yeah.
he's really good against split push teams though. If you're running a 4-1 team, I really like Kha'Zix because you can just bully the crap out of that one because of the isolation damage with your top laner on the team, and that it really helps, and you can really shut down that split push. I like it in that sense, but I don't like it in team fighting comps at all.
No.
Sorry if I was distracted there for a bit. I was our one friend, Billy. He was playing League for the first time because he bought a PC, so he's playing League for the first time in like a year or two. And I'm not that he played much before. And he was just telling me he's getting flamed in a bot match. I'm like, oh man, there's League of Legends for you.
Yeah. Means we gotta go play some all random Earth after this.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's move
Yeah.
on to players of the week. Top laner, I wanted to give this to Sword. I really did because he had some amazing stats. However, stats aren't everything. It's about impact, and the impact that Damwon's Flame made was insane and was able to actually bring back Damwon to beat KT this week. So his stats were KD of 6, CSM of 7.4, damage percentage 18.3, and DPM of 349. He had a really good week, especially for just playing 2 games. It was amazing. And Sword, let me be fair, he had an amazing week. He had like a 37 KDA, something ridiculous like that. And by all means, stats wise, that he should have been player of the week. But I think the impact that Flame had for being able to upset SKT for Damwon, and now Damwon doesn't have to face SKT anymore, and they're arguably one of the only teams that are better than them at the moment. And I don't even know if you can argue that actually because Damwon beat them at the moment as well. So, like, or at the moment, just this week. And so that was a very big win for them, and that was mostly on the back of Flame that carried them. Jungler of the week was Griffin's Tarzan, best jungler in the world by far. KDA of 14.7, damage percentage is 19.3, DPM of 393. Simple. He's best jungler by far. I feel like he's been jungler of the week almost every single week. Mid laner was Damwon Showmaker, and he had a KDA of 23.5, CSM 9.7, damage percentage of 32.1% of his team's damage, DPM of 548. So he had a very good week as well, and he played all the games for Damwon, where Flame only played 2 games. ADC of the week was Kingzone's Death, because very similar, because I believe it was Aiming on Afrika that had a very good week as well. A little bit better stat-wise, but I felt like Deft actually performed better and had more impact on the team because he had a 23.5 KDA, CS minute 10.3. Listen to this, Brock. Deft's damage percentage this week, 47.4% of his team's damage. That's a lot.
That's a pretty good
for an entire week, and his DPM was 1,023. That's pretty good week. And it wasn't like he was playing Ezreal. He's playing Zaya for most of this week, which isn't necessarily one of the high tier picks that we usually see. As of this year, I should say. She's been top tier usually for a long time. But then support of the week was also Kingzone's Tucson. He had a KDA of 11, average assist of 10.3, and a vision score per minute of 2.69. All right, now let's move on to the play of the week, brought to you by Brock. All right, that is not the play of the week. That is my own game.
There
Good
you go. That's
game, by the
play of the week.
Yeah. Hey man, put in perspective. 19 minutes into the game, my Nexus Tower was at 15% or 15 HP. We aced them and won it in like 10 minutes later. It was a very fun game. I was gonna do another, but I'm like, why? There's nothing that's gonna beat that. All right, tell me when you're ready.
Nope, I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
They turn themselves back onto this Baron as Flame flashes and steals the Baron! Canyon unnecessary as the kills now starting to rain forward. Damwon Gaming are even able to steal away the piggiest Showmaker. Gets himself back in, gets a brilliant flash forward at Damwon. It looked like a brain fade, but maybe it was the genius tier move. And Flame, welcome back to the LCK, my
ridiculous. That's the power of Urgot with Spellbook.
Yep, I love taking for the spellbook on Urgot. Though we won't see him much anymore because his nerfs are coming in 9.4. So I believe yeah, and as someone who's played Urgot, it hurts. The nerfs are you cannot use your Q to farm anymore. You can, but if you use it to farm, you can't use it to team fight or poke or engage with at all. But yeah, do you want to talk more about the play?
Yeah, the play was Damwon is down at this point, and it was pretty much should have been a free Baron for SKT, and then Flame just jumps in there, steals the Baron, and actually creates this insane team fight that Damwon comes ahead of, and that's what completely changed that game. Because that was looking like a free game for SKT in the sense that they were about to just take off with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the crazy Baron steal, and then the play that ensued after just completely turned that game around.
This is a huge game too. Now that Damwon's only a game behind SKT now, if I'm correct, if I'm correct in the standings. So now they have a tiebreaker against them with the 1-1, where if SKT would have won this game, not only would they be 2 ahead of Damwon, but they would have had the tiebreaker as well, and that would almost, with only a few weeks left, I don't think that would have done too well for Damwon. I think they wouldn't have had a chance to even get second place. Well, now they do.
Yeah.
They don't have a chance for first place. No one has a chance for first place.
No.
With that, let's move on to our power rankings of the week. We have Griffin at number 1. If I had all 55 teams or 54 teams, I would still put Griffin number 1. Then there would be I'd do a million spaces and then have number 2. We both moved SKT up to, I don't know why I have SKT 1 on mine, but SKT and you. Did you see that they're actually changing SKT's name?
Are they?
Yeah, they're removing the SKT part, which I don't like. They're keeping the T1. They're just gonna be T1 now, so they're gonna be Tyler 1.
Wow, I feel like
It was a merger or something like that, with the telecom
so.
company.
It's just Telecom One.
Yeah, I think that's the new name
What?
of the company. So now they're changed.
Well, SKT was the last SK team, right?
Yeah, but outside of SK on LEC.
Oh yeah.
But not necessarily. I think I saw that on Reddit where that SKT Telecom is now just going to be Telecom One, like as a company. So they're going to change the name. I think. I don't know if it'll be in the middle of the season or it'll be at the end of the year, like
Huh.
maybe next split. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I think SKT's more. I think if they would have dropped the Telecom One part of it and just been SKT, not SKT One, it would have
Yeah.
made more sense because no one calls them really SKT1, in my opinion, at least.
Mm.
Yeah, they're just a little tidbit. They're number 2 now. I think that they had, even though they did lose to Damwon, which makes it sound weird that they lost a game to a team they shouldn't have lost to and they moved up a ranking. Sandbox losing 2 games to teams that they shouldn't have lost to at all really dropped them down to 3rd for me. You dropped them down to 4th. I think Sandbox has done enough to prove that they still deserve top 3, but they're very, very. There's Damwon is right behind them now. Where before, if I would have said that, I would have thought you were crazy. If anyone told me that Damwon's right behind Sandbox, just 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure Damwon was going to make playoffs. Honestly.
Yeah, they had a pretty good turnaround, which is the reason I have them above Sandbox in my power rankings because the what do you call it? Let me look here real quick. The loss to there we go. The loss to Kingzone is okay. I don't like it. They shouldn't have lost to Kingzone, but the loss to Afrika is what really was like. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I'm on the same boat. Like, if they would have only lost to Kingzone this week, I would have probably kept them number 2 because I think Deft is so good that he can solo carry against almost any team outside of Griffin. Like, I think he is just he's playing phenomenal this year. Like, he's almost, I would say, the MVP of the league if there wasn't Griffin, because obviously you have to give it to 5 Griffin players. You can't give that, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like he's the best individual performer on compared to his team level, I think, by far. Out of all 5 leagues, honestly, I think he's carrying his team harder than anyone else. I have Kings on number 5 as well, and you do as well. Hama Life, we both dropped to 6. It's not that they had that bad of a week. They actually won a game. I believe they lose their other game to.
No, they won. They beat Afrika and then lost the damn one.
That's what it was. Got it. Yes, so they went 1-1, which was pretty good. But I thought that I had Damwon lower than Hanwha at the beginning, so obviously moving Damwon up. And then Kingzone, I thought, with the win against Sandbox, deserved to be ahead of Hanwha as well. But they're still right in there. I think those 6 teams are very, very solid. The top 6 teams in LCK, and the records show it. The records absolutely show it. They were 6-4 to 3-7. That's a big gap between missing playoffs and being in playoffs. I don't think that's going to change by the end of the year, personally. Number 7. Yeah, you were just going to say you agree.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I don't. I agree with you as well.
Yeah, number 7, we moved the Freaker Freaks up to number 7. You did as well. I'm assuming that's obviously because they beat Sandbox. That's a big win.
Yep, it's a huge win.
The only difference, I have KT number 8. You have Genji number 9. I get Genji's 3 and 7. I couldn't drop KT any further than I had him 7th before this. But losing to SKT and losing to Griffin is not their fault.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not the end. And now that you got those games out of the way now, or at least the Griffin game. You still have to face SKT one more time, but you got the Griffin game out of the way, so you don't have to face them anymore for the rest of the year, and that's always very nice.
Yeah,
I think they're better than Genji slightly, like a 2-1 type deal, but.
Yeah, my power rankings. The only reason I put Genji above them was just because Genji didn't have an O2 week. Although their win was basically beating nobody.
Yeah,
because it was Jin Air.
It's just like losing the Griffin. I don't count any win against Jin Air.
Yeah.
None. Even if you 2-0 them in a blowout, it doesn't matter. Everyone else has done it.
Yep.
And then Jin Air, obviously 10th and nearly 54th out of 54 teams.
Yeah, I would
Probably
literally.
like 51st, 52nd even maybe.
If I could, I would put them as the number 11 team in LCK.
Yep, yep.
I would already relegate this team.
With that, let's go over predictions. And now that we don't have games on Wednesdays, it's a little weird, but we'll still do the podcast on this day because I don't feel like changing. I was thinking
Yep.
maybe we can change LCK or LEC, but why? There's no point doing that right now.
Yeah.
Only 8 games this week, though. First one is Sandbox versus Freak of Freaks. Even though Freak of Freaks lost to Sandbox, or beat Sandbox literally last week, I think.
To the day.
Yeah, literally a week ago. I'm still gonna go Sandbox here. I think it'll be a close one, 2-1. But I can't see a Freak of Freaks coming up with back-to-back upsets against Sandbox. Even though I see cracks in their play. They have to be able to adapt against a team like that in just 1 week at a time. I don't think that's enough. I think it's enough time, or it hasn't been enough time in the sense that Afrika can't come up with really a bunch of new strategies, and Sandbox should be able to cover up their losses off looking at the VODs and be able, since they have the better players, they have the VODs, they can fix up their mistakes and win this game or win the series.
Yeah, this is my only ballsy pick, and I'm picking a freak at this game. Just because.
Not ballsy, they just won.
Yeah, but not only that, just because losing a game a week is okay, but it's hard to say a game is a fluke when you get 2-0'd by another team after.
Yeah.
So for me, it's hard to say, it was a fluke, they're fine. Like, what did you do at Liquid and G2 and all those? Like, they lost the game, it's for a series, it's fine, they're good.
Yep, they've looked
But
fun.
it literally happened 2 days later, and they got 0-2'd. So, I don't think it's the end of Sandbox. Sandbox is going to be fine. But, I think Afrika's going to win this one 2-1.
Isn't it a shame that you see all these good teams like Sandbox, like Damwon, and like SKT, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to see any of these teams at MSI this year.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, it's fun to watch them now. I'm not going to see them internationally until Worlds.
Yep.
Oh, man. Like I said, they'll be the biggest disappointment of the entire year if I don't see Griffin at MSI or Worlds. If Griffin chokes again and doesn't make Worlds, oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
I don't see it happening. Speaking of something I don't see happening, is there is zero. I will give them a 0.1% chance to win this game, but that's not enough to make me risk picking them. With Damwon Gaming versus Jinair. I'm not even going to ask you for your prediction. If you made the bold prediction, I am using my veto power to overrule it for your own safety. Good game of the week, or not necessarily game of the week, but a good enough game, like equal. I don't like to call them game of the week, but I think that's like this is one of the closest games talent wise between Kingzone and Hama Life. I think this is going to be a very close series. Definitely 2-1. Could go either way. Like I literally think this is a 50-50 series. I'm just going to put my belief in Deft though, because he has shown up. Like I said, this week he had 47% of his team's damage, and they won like a lot. That's insane. They went 4-0 this week with that. So I'm going to put in with the crit ADCs coming in 9.4. I mean, they're already in at 9.3, but I still believe with his Zaya games, he was showing really, really well. And if you ban his crit ADCs, he's going to pull out the Ezreal and win out that. I don't know if he's even lost this week or year with Ezreal. He's been the best Ezreal by far. So I got Kingzone at 2-1. Very close match, though. I still like Hanwha, but I'm a believer in Deft.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm on the depth high train, so
It's gonna
I have
crash and burn,
2-1 Kingzone.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like everything. It's sad.
I like everything.
Hype trains are so fun for 1 week, and then they crash and burn all the time. Speaking of crashing and burning, Gen G and SKT are going to be facing off each other in series number 4 this week. I think this should be an easy 2-0 for SKT. SKT did lose a damn one, but it was a very close series. I think they'll easily be able to bounce back. They already did bounce back in game number 10 last week, or series number 10, from the last week against Damwon Gaming. So, or not Damwon, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Kate. No, that was week 3. Never mind. Either way, they're bouncing back.
Yeah.
2-0.
Yep, I've got it 2-0 as well because I don't necessarily think SKT lost against Damwon because Damwon's better. It was just a crazy play that Flame made that ended up winning the game for him.
Yep. Yep. And I think that I still personally think Gen G is going to get relegated this year, in my opinion. I think that KT is slightly better than them. It's not much, but it's a slight.
Yeah, it's not much.
Next, we have a Freak of Freaks versus Damwon Gaming. This is a rough week for Freak of Freaks with Sandbox and Damwon. I think Damwon's really rolling on a hot streak right now, even though the Freak of Freaks did win against Sandbox, and they won against... Didn't they win against someone else as well? No,
Freaking, no, they
lost to
Hanwha.
They lost to Hanwha. They lost to Hanwha. Yeah, that's right. I think that Freaka's probably the best of the worst teams, in my opinion, because they change things up and stuff. I used to say that about KT, but they keep losing. So they only have one win that's not from Jin Air. You void everyone's win against Jin Air this year. Just void it. It doesn't count. Then all of a sudden KT is 1-8. So they're not winning many games. And so I would say Afrika's the best of the worst, but I still think Sandbox should be able to take care of business and go 2-0 this week. Damwon, sorry.
Damwon. I know what you meant.
They played.
Yep, and I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one.
Speaking of Sandbox going 2-0, they're facing Jin Air. It qualifies as a win before the match even starts.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
No sense in talking about that one.
Mm-hmm. What the heck? So we don't get to see any Griffin this week? Lame.
Yeah. Nope.
I love our analysis on Jin. There's no point in analyzing Jin Air games. They're gonna lose.
Yep,
They haven't showed anything in 21 games. It's not like LEC and LCS where they play one game, and like teams like Rogue, who have only won 2 games, I believe, and like Clutch have won 3 games and stuff like that. Jin Air's won 1 game out of 21 games. That's not good. 1-20 is a very ugly record. It's not just the 0-10. It's 1-20.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
And their only win is against Gen G. Yeah. So next, speaking of Gen G, Hanwha Life versus Gen G. I think Hanwha Life will bounce back after a tough loss to Kingzone. I think that Gen G is just the opponent they need, and they'll win this one 2-0. I just don't like. I think Ruler is good, but he's like your poor man's Deft right now. He's good enough to carry his team, but not as often as Deft can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're a smart man.
Nice.
And I agree with it.
62% overall regions right now. I calculated that today. My only region under 60% is NA, the one I know the most about. Awesome. Only one that's above 70 is China at the moment. I had like 3 of them above 70 at one point, but I lost them this last week. Finally, last series of the week, probably series of the week, honestly, is SKT versus Kingzone. I think this is going to be a close match. I think Deft is going to pop off a lot, but I don't think it'll be enough. Because I think that Faker will be able to win mid lane. I think that Clade will be able to win in the jungle. And I don't think Deft... I think Teddy can hold off on Deft enough that he won't do 47% of his team's damage. He might only do like 30% of his team's damage, and that should be enough. I am going to make it a 2-1, though. I think that Deft will sneak a game where he carries hard enough. I think it'll be closer than people realize, but I don't think it'll be enough to win.
Yeah. Again, couldn't agree with you more.
Look at that. We are in all agreement except for the first game, which is a bold prediction by you. But nonetheless, it's not that bold because they did win.
Yep.
So I can gain 1 game on you this week. You're still up on me 3 games in this. I'm upset about that. I need to come back. We're running out of weeks. But that is all for our predictions. We were pretty tidy this week. That's 48 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/KingLinkFan. We stream live at 10 p.m. usually, or 10:20 like today, every day, or at least Sunday through Thursday for all of our regions. Sunday's LPL, Monday is NA, Tuesday is LCK, Wednesday is LMS, and Thursday is LEC. You can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/KingLinkFan. And like before we said, please, you could just comment if you can, if you want. If about all of our picks you can disagree with us, I don't care. That's just don't be toxic, I guess. But if you disagree with us and have points to bring up, please let us know. I'd love to debate in the comments. If you think that Griffin is not the best team, then you're crazy. But if there's other things you want to point out, like maybe Damwon and Sandbox, or you think Sandbox is going to falter completely and almost miss playoffs or something like that, it'd be interesting. Just like to hear you guys' opinions if you want to give them. It's fun. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for LMS.